Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we've got a top 8 breakdown for my triple winner box that I held last night. We had 45 players, 6 rounds of Swiss, and we also had this unique format of star decks 9 and 10 being legal for this event, as well as the new restriction list banning peel-off and limiting the Bobbity to 1 copy. So this is technically a fake format. This is a format that we'll never really have in this game, since when we get July 1st for the new restriction list, we'll also have the entirety of the SBO1 out for us too. So it's just means like it's a different card pool, and even though this kind of format won't exist, I know a lot of people had a lot of fun. It's kind of fun to explore this little mini format as we're waiting for the new stuff, and I know a lot of people are just kind of ready to see if there's a shift from seeing like Bobbity and Peel-Off kind of helping those two decks just be very good. So again, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We make a lot of Fusion World content. If you want any of the deck lists for this event and many others, you can find them on my website, Eggman Events, linked in the description, and let's just jump on into it. So as mentioned, this was 45 players, 6 rounds of Swiss, and we did have these legal, like this format for us, which is why I'm calling it Star Deck 9 and 10 plus. This is going to probably be the only event that I have marked at that. But of that, we have this top 8 of 2 copies of Vegeta, 2 copies of Giblet, 2 Shallot, 1 Janemba, and 1 Son Goku GT. So if you guys haven't checked out the new star decks, I think they're very good for this game. Not only are they strong decks, but I think they're just really great for getting new players into the game as well. So they're very particular on how they work, but they don't like break how the game works. Being able to, for Shallot, play big bodies for 4 and just kind of have this incremental board of 6 drops. And then for Giblet, we also are just kind of like another like version of like green Vegeta, but I would say like a little bit more functional, being able to kind of play bodies. And if you're kind of from One Piece, it's kind of like a Dawn minus. It's kind of like a little bit of like Reiju. It's kind of like a little bit of like green and purple Luffy, right? That kind of idea where we don't have like a lot of energy at our access, but we do have a lot of ways to play out a lot of bodies for cheap and get a lot of effects for it, and like take our own energy, like kind of like Dawn minus effects as well. So I do also have the leader breakdown of the 45. So we do see that a lot of people were on the Shallot, Vegeta, and Giblet, right? About 1/3 of the field. But again, we do have a lot of people on a lot of different decks, and I think that's really fun to see people just being able to bring the deck that they have fun with and still be able to do well as well. So again, if you guys want any of the deck lists, you can find them linked in the description. But we're going to go over the top. We're actually just going to go over these deck lists, but we're just going to go all the leaders who got into top 8, as well as 3 leaders that had a unique placing with X2, but as a unique leader, but without getting into like their tiebreakers isn't putting them in the top 8. So we're going to do that, and we're going to start off with our first place list, which is Jacob's version of Vegeta, as well as Dante's version of the yellow Vegeta. So this deck is like really weird in my mind, right? I think the deck is really, really strong in this meta, and it's going to continue to be very strong into SBO1. The issue I think that most people are worried about for Vegeta is that there is this Majin Buu card that exists that will be releasing in this new manga set, and this card is just absurd, right? The fact that this card says that you get to choose all cards. This does have an errata. You just rest all of your opponent's energy. And I think that's a mistake, if I'm being honest. I think that this should only be able to like rest 1 or 2 energies. Being able to like completely tap out your opponent is not great, especially when your entire identity is like of yellow Vegeta is to simply like have 2 energy open, right? Like the fact that you can't even like play around it by like using less of your energy to keep it open is kind of absurd in my mind. So this is a deck that I think is great. I think yellow is going to be very viable in this next set. I don't know if it's with Vegeta, but we do have a lot of just fantastic cards. So for Jacob's build specifically, I think the 3-drop Vegeta is something that not everyone's playing, but it is very great at protecting your board. I jumped into one of the games and just like, man, this card just does a lot. The fact that it puts out a 1-drop too, when we were playing 16 1-drops, and 2 of them draw cards, 1 of them rest something in Balma. Even if you're not like just being able to get this draws a card too, technically, right? So other than that, we do have like Janemba, fantastic card for getting us into like the mid to late game, being able to interact with stuff and help yourself awaken. A lot of people just kind of keep you at 5 life, so being able to have Awakener from that, as well as from this Vegeta. Our secret rare freezes don't need much explanation. Son Goku is very strong, and then we do also have like the 1-drop extra cards as well. So Results of Training really have just put this deck on the map, right? to the point where I think like it's just like you just get value that a lot of decks don't get, right? You essentially get out of like 1 or 2 attacks per turn for free because this card like replaces itself. The energy that you use for it is like cost 0, right? Because you get 2 extra energy in the late game, and I think that's something that's really tough for a lot of decks to kind of keep up with value wise. So we also have Dante's build for the deck. Sorry, this was Dante's build, but we also do have the build here from Jacob. So we do have like some copies of like some more tech cards. We do also have like the potential for like Majin Buu Evil, even without Bobby, even without everything. This card is pretty nasty, being able to draw 1, discard 1. A lot of people are going to be at kind of like mid hand sizes against you, so that helps you a lot. The fact that you can attack, pressure, and then pop it, so your opponent still has to attack your leader, is good. We do also have like the Majin Buu 5-drop, which I think the only weakness I would say for yellow, the only thing that it doesn't have compared to everything else, is that the double strikers that they have are not very good outside of being a double striker generically, right? Obviously Majin Buu Kid is really good in the Majin deck, but the fact that it's like Majin Buu Kid and Frieza, like Golden Frieza from the star deck, from star deck 3, 4, and we still haven't like had any, like this is the second double striker that yellow's ever seen, right, in set 4, right? So because of that, I think like that's like one of the issues that yellow has, is that like it doesn't have like really great double strikers, but you always kind of have to be aware that they could just drop a Majin Buu Kid or a Golden Frieza and be done with you. So other than that, I think this deck is very strong right now. It's going to be interesting. It's either going to be very strong and take advantage of a lot of the new yellow cards that we get from SBO1, or there's just going to be other yellow leaders who can not only take advantage of those cards more, but again, use Majin Buu to tap you out, and then you really don't have a leader ability anymore, which is kind of rough. So we'll see if that happens, but here are the builds from, again, Jacob and Dante. Congratulations for their finishes. Next up, we've got Giblet. So this is one of the newer decks on the scene, and honestly, I think that Giblet, we have Dante and Simon's version of it, which they're pretty similar in a lot of ways. I think this deck is really great, and if you are newer to the game, it's very easy for you not only to get this in person, right? You just have to buy 2 star decks, and then you have to add a couple copies of Secret or Goku. I think this deck is also really easy for people to get into on the online client. Same kind of thing. I know that Goku, like Secret Rares are a little bit expensive, but if you wait until SBO1 comes out, you also get to the fact that this Goku is reprinted in that set. If you buy SBO1, specifically, I think there's just a lot of ways to build some like really good budget decks for people, again, just trying to jump into the game. So the kind of new tech ad that I've seen is the Broly Childhood BR. So this is not only a way to self-awaken and a 10k, but you can, for 2, place this card in your battle area into its owner's drop to play up to 1 Broly BR with a cost of 4 from your hand. This also kind of works really well in some like energy markers, because of how the leader works, sometimes you get access to 5 or 6 energy for a turn, but you don't have access to 4 energy at the same time, right? I think like maybe the chances are more so you have access to 5 energy throughout the turn, but you have access to 3 energy and then 2 energy, right? So this card being able to play itself, attack, and then pop itself to go into a Broly BR with a cost of 4 from your hand is really great, including this one, which for whatever reason, I said this in chat, this is on me, right? If you look closely, it's definitely Broly BR. I just thought this is regular old Broly, right? It's probably just because like he doesn't have just like the pose and everything. It's Broly BR, so you can play it off the 3-drop. When attacking once per turn, choose up to 1 battle card with cost 2 or less and KO it, which is great. But then also activate main once per turn, place 1 energy in its owner's drop. If your leader's Giblet, you get to switch this card to active. And cards that can stand itself are great. Sometimes you need some extra ways to regulate your energy as Giblet to be able to get your effects, and I think all of that is really good. So other than that, we do have like just a lot of good support cards. We have searches with Sun Gohan Childhood and as well as the Zamasu. Sun Gohan Youth is great for helping us awaken and keeping the board clear. We also have Raditz. This card's nasty. This card is really nasty in this deck. Just being able to be a 1-drop 15 or 10k that also can turn into a 20k is great. And then we have like the top end for us. So we do have some double strikers with the Turles as well as the Son Goku. I think both are good for the deck. We have like Instant Kamehameha, which has been like fantastic for the deck, and also Twisted Mortality, which is great for having like a kind of like a 10 times Kamehameha, just like a little bit higher of a cost. So I think this deck is really good. And then we also have kind of like, I would say like the more traditional build of it, where we don't have like the Broly BR package, but yeah, we kind of supplement it with having just like the 3-drop Golden Frieza. This being able to just get like card draw and like be a 30k pretty easily is really nice. We do also have like a little bit more removal. We also do have the Saiyan Born of Fury and Hate. Generally speaking, is pretty easy for you to get this plus 15k. This card is like a little bit the additional plus 10k. It's a little bit tough for you like in the mirror match to get, you know, full usage of this card, but I think it's fine. And then we have like kind of the rest of the deck too. So I do like the Shallot in this deck too. So place 2 in your energy, and then you get to add 1, draw 1, and just be like a 35k aggressively if you have less energy. It's like not a bad card. It's just like I think there's like some better things we can be doing it sometimes. But other than that, I think Giblet's been very, very popular. I don't need to tell you guys that. You've probably seen it running around. And it's really cool to see like a star deck like this just kind of do well, but not like kind of in the sweet spot of like relevant and good for getting people into the game without being like the best deck in the game, or you know what I mean? Like it's like a really good like middle balance for it, and I really been liking this one, as well as the Shallot, which we're going to talk about. But here are the builds again from Dante and Simon. Next up, we got Shallot. So we've got Clay's build as well as Nicholas's build of the deck, and this one I've been playing a lot of. This has been my favorite deck to play recently, with how it works. Being able to like play out these 6 drops for 4 is really, really good. And there's like a lot of cool like little synergies within the color itself. So for this build specifically from Clay, we do have like a lot of like additional 1-drops of just like the copies of Son Goku Childhood BR. Personally, I'm not sure if I'm really sold on Shallot being a good card or not. Mostly just because like the double strike that you get from it is good, but not like I feel like there's like better ways to like just play a bunch of 6 drops and like whittle your opponent down. I think a lot of people are respecting double strike a little bit too much right now, and I think like also into SBO1 that double strike might be a little bit harder to obtain if there's going to be barrier blockers running around. So but I do think like the fact that we technically have a 2-drop with double strike is insane, right? So if we have ways to boost that up enough, that's great. Which like Chi Childhood will just make sure that you like go down to 1 life if you need to draw more cards, as well as like this is like essentially a 1-drop 20k combo, which is really good. Nappa kind of the same way, being able to just be a 1-drop that's like lets you take cards from your life. We do also have like a suite of 6 drops. I think most people are on about this ratio of 4 copies of Son Goku, as well as the Son Goku Bardock and the Son Gohan Childhood, 3 or 2 copies of the Vegeta, and then a couple copies of Gogeta as well. So you can't play this off your leader effect, but the fact that it's a 6 cost is good. The fact that you can, you know, prevent your opponent from restanding things, and just having like a removal against something like Jiren, I think is really great as well. So other than that, we do have like a couple of extra cards. So Ultimate Sparking, I think 1 or 2 copies is probably fine. Burning Power of Instinct, being able to get some like a 10 times Kamehameha on the deck is good. I'm going to End You is actually a really unique card. Being able to get a draw for having a cost of 6 or more in your deck or on your board is really nice. And then also the Lonesome Final Battle. I really, really like this card in the deck. It just, if you are able to see it early, just sets up your plays to get to like set up your leader a lot easier for like, you know, there's just so many effects that let you look at the top card of your deck for a 6-drop, and if you do, you get like a bonus ability. So helping you do that a little bit more consistently and like set up your consistent plays are really good too. So even though like it's a -1 in card advantage, right, the consistency that it adds to you, I think is kind of worth it. So not much more to say for Clay's build. And then we also have Nicholas's build. There I would say, you know, playing a little bit more of a streamlined build of it, right? We are playing like the Trunks GT, which I think is fine for a way for us to be able to you know, not have a you know, like have protection. I do think that naturally we have a lot of great protection because we are just 6 cost, right? So like Trunks GT is not like needed in some build matchups, but it is needed in others, so that's fine. Also, the fact that it can self-awaken you is good. So if you end up going like I think like this build kind of like wants to lean to go second a little bit more, just because we can play Trunks GT on 2 with a marker, and then we go into one of our 4 costs. So if you go into Son Goku, it's really good for that. We are seeing like the Gogeta. We are seeing the same ratios of 6 drops and 2 drops. We're playing 2 Shallots, and then we're also playing the Jocko, which I don't see this card as much, but being able to be a blocker that draws a card is fine. The fact that it doesn't have any combo is a little bit rough, but I think generally speaking that there's a lot of decks that like that, since they have to interact with this card, they have to. And there's also kind of like this mentality where they're like, oh, this deck only plays 6 drops, and this, you know, I'm going to have to charge my final explosions because they're not going to get enough value. And then you play Jocko, and then they have to kind of respond to it. So other than that, I think this deck is really fun. It's been one that I've been playing a lot of. I think there's also a lot more deck space for it. And, you know, you obviously have to play like this bulk of 6 drops for it, but the cards around it, I've been seeing people play a lot of unique stuff. So here's the build here. Congratulations to Clay and Nicholas. Next up, we've got Janemba, which we haven't seen this leader, and at least I haven't seen this leader in a little bit. It's been, I know a lot of people want to make this leader work the way that it, untaps 2 energy is really nice, and I do think that there are some like cool synergies and plays with this leader in general. So starting off, we do have like our army of 1 drops, right, of Yamu, Hercule, Sake Demon, as well as the Frieza. We do have like no way to self wake, like we all our early plays are just drawing 1 card, right? We do also have like the Bio Broly, Majin Buu Evil, Janemba, Son Goku. I also think that this deck is really great at taking advantage of results of training, just because like we can use it on like an attack, and then like we can untap 1 energy. So like the fact that like 2 results of training can be used after our leader effect aggressively, which is really good. So I think that helps. We are also playing like the Hell Rakshasa, the Blue Power Awakening, and Final Explosion. Just some great extra cards that, again, since we untap 2 cards aggressively, that helps us too. Other than that, we have kind of our mid to top end. Janemba obviously works really well with the deck. We've got the Son Goku, the Vegeta, the Frieza, which clearly is kind of made for this leader, right? As well as the Vegeta Mini Daima, the Bio Broly, and the Golden Frieza as well. So honestly, I think this is like a really fun deck. I do think that, again, yellow is going to drastically change with the SBO1 set. So if we could still play this leader, it's just going to have to be different based on what we see. But being able to play like a 2-drop Bobbity and then attacking and restanding 3 and then getting Janemba, the Majin Buu 3-drop barrier is something that I think this deck also has access to, because all that stuff is just really, really generic as well. So not much more to say. Also, the fact that this, we also play like barrier cards, so it makes it difficult for opponents to, remove Frieza and then Majin Buu. Like you're just gonna have like a board of stuff that your opponent really can't interact with, which is strong. So other than that, I think this deck is great, and congratulations to to Sean for their finish with Janemba. And then we've got Brandon's version of Son Goku GT. And this deck's been around for a while, right? It's been out for almost a year since FBO3 released last year. We did get a lot of incremental support, and what I really like about this deck is that you can tell that it's really personalized, right? The individual choices for the deck, right? We have 52 cards, and we have a lot of unique cards, right, across them. We have, I think, 23 copies of cards are just like different card names in this deck too. So generically, we are just kind of like a Son Goku GT deck, right? Like that's clearly a lot of what like black is right now, is just being able to play this card and take full advantage of it, which is like fine, right? It's like a good idea for it. We do have like a lot of like tech cards. 3-drop Bardock is really good in this leader because you can make it a 35k attack twice with our leader ability. We have ways to self-awaken. Like this is just kind of like a toolbox for what the deck kind of looks like. So kind of as usual too, for the last couple sets, like black doesn't have like a lot of generically good cards that we're getting. Like SBO1 is going to be very focused on Bulma. FBO6 was really focused on King Piccolo, right? So it's been very like difficult to find like different builds, because we do have just like such a like the card pool of like good cards are from like set 3 and 4. We get like incremental ads of like the 5-drops on Goku from FBO5, and then obviously Gogeta's been like a fantastic card for us. But then after that, like we don't have, I think, like that much kind of wiggle room for what we're doing. So we'll see if we get more of this, deck being viable. I have been wanting to play like, a really control heavy kind of like, Gogeta deck, and either that's through Gogeta, Bardock leader, or this one. But I think that's something that can exist, and I'm curious to see what the new format looks like as well, because I think that there could be something with those leaders being viable as well. So we'll see from there. I think that this deck is fun, and I think we obviously have also had Shallot is like the first way to kind of like, I'd say, competitively build a black deck outside of like Baby, which came out in FBO4, and there's nothing wrong with just having a Son Goku GT deck too. So here's a build here from Brandon. Congratulations for their finish there. And so that's the end of our top 8, but again, we do have 3 X2s, so we're going to start with Aandroidd 17. So this is James's version of the deck. Not to be reductive, but we know what Aandroidd 17 kind of looks like. I would say this is more of like an aggressive build, with the kind of idea that we do have like the Nappa super rare. So kind of this, I don't know if this is like the pure shotgun build, because also we do play the Dr. Giroux lab, right? So we are just trying to get value in the mid to late game. It is surprising that we're not playing like 9-drop Secret Rare Broly, and we're just kind of capping out on the 8-drop Broly, but generally speaking, I don't think a deck like this will ever be bad in this game, right? The fact that we are able to just like get up to 8 energy very quickly, the fact that we have like a lot of pressure, the fact that we have all these extra cards that help boost us. Aandroidd 17 is just never going to be the worst deck in this game, right? It's still going to be very good into SPO1, I think. I think it's just going to be present. And the things that it does are just, it's hard to outvalue it sometimes, especially again when you're playing Broly on like turn 6 kind of thing. So I don't have much more to say. I think that, this is a strong deck. This is technically like an FBO the 5 deck, right? We haven't had any new cards from it since then. I mean, obviously the new Aandroidd 718 from FBO 4 was good. Nappa from FBO 4 was good. I think that's kind of started like a new wave of how this deck kind of looks, but generally speaking, still in a really, really good spot. So here's the build here. Congratulations to James for their finish with Aandroidd 17. And then we've got Majin Buu. And so, yes, we did have a Majin Buu go X2 with Bobbity at 1 copy. Obviously, this card is really strong in the deck, and if you find it, you're very good. But I think it's a little bit overstated about maybe how good this deck is with, or can be without it. I also think that this deck is just going to be completely different with SPO1. Like we just got like legitimately like a brand new set of support for Majin Buu. So at least we don't have 3-drop Bobbity like legal at the same time, right? Like at 4 copies. I would be pretty upset if we had all of this Majin Buu stuff where it's been clearly one of the best 2 decks in the game, and then like here's like a bunch of new support for it. So we'll see if Majin Buu Evil is like the leader that will be the best into this next set. I will say that it's a card where we have let me just look it up. We've got the Majin Buu 3-drop. You guys know about Barrier Blocker, right? And then it's mostly just kind of off of the new Bobbity that we get from this set. So being able to give something blocker and just having a barrier. So one unique thing with Majin Buu Evil, I will say, is that the auto once per turn is auto once per turn on either player's turn. So that means that when your opponent battle card with Majin or Evil Wizard and a special trait is KO'd, you get to switch this card or up to one of your energy to active mode. So on defense, being able to switch an energy to active mode is really good. So it could be something where you could have results of training in this deck. You could have blocker barrier Buu, and then that means that like you'll take the damage, you'll block, your Majin Buu will get KO'd. You'll get to discard a card to save it, but then you'll also be able to untap an energy to have access to results of training, which I think that's really, really great for like this version of the deck. So other than that, like we do, kind of have the same package that we've been seeing from this deck, right? The Bobbity into Majin Buu Evil, Majin Buu Kid. This card is still like really rough, I think, right? 30k attack twice with no real energy like requirement, right? Like worst cases, like this is for 4 energy if you play like a 1-drop draw card and then you play it and then you do the thing. But that's just really, really strong in my opinion. I think more people will maybe do the thing where they attack with double strike first and then they pop the Majin Buu Kid with this to get like an additional draw and stuff. So that might be a little bit more viable, since I think like being able to play the Bobbity is like really, really less reliable moving forward. We do have like just our good, secret rare Friezas. We've got Son Goku and kind of the rest of the package too. So we also have like a 1-drop Majin to replace Frieza. Not that I think, which is just better because if you pop it with a leader effect, you get that restand too. So other than that, I don't think that Majin Buu Evil is gone. I think probably like this specific build of the deck is probably going to go to the wayside, but we don't worry. I think that yellow Majin stuff will be viable in the future too. So this is John's version of the build. Congratulations. And then lastly, we've got Vegeta Mini. So we did have a blue deck go X2. I know there was a couple of like Son Goku, Halo Kus around as well. This leader didn't really rely on Pilaf, I think, as much as the others, but though because generally you tapped out every turn going up to turn like 5 or 6 because you are wanting to use the Vegeta Mini Daima effect in that way. So I think that's something that's really strong with this deck too. Like the removal from it's really unparalleled, and being able to get that removal off of either your Vegeta Minis and then also like the Beerus also being able to return something to hand. This deck still has, I think, a lot going for it. So you do really miss some of the recursion for this deck because sometimes you do just need like another 1-drop, or there might be times where you just aren't using all of your energy in one turn. But I do think that this deck is still really, really good. So other than that, the Son Goku Childhood Secret Rare, still great, a great finisher for this deck. We're still playing Gallic Gun and Final Hope Slash. I think these cards are still better than they're better now because they do help you use all of your energy in a time where Pilaf doesn't exist anymore. So kind of as like backup copies of like value cards, I think they're good. And then we just, again, have the rest of the deck here as well. So not much more to say, but congratulations to Lance for their finish with Vegeta Mini Daima. And that's going to be it for this one. Again, if you want any of the deck lists, you can find them there. We also have a lot of tournament deck lists and everything else on my website, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. And I'm looking forward to seeing how SPO1 kind of changes the format as well. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.